Got a story for you, and I just related it to a friend of mine last night when we were out having a drink, and he seemed to find it kind of funny. So maybe some people of the old pirate radio community might find it funny as well. But anyway, here it is. So in the in the early 1980s, I was on a radio station which became notorious. But it was much beloved of Dubliners for a long time, and that was the original Radio Dublin, as run by Eamon Cook, who subsequently turned out to be, never mind, it's there in the public domain. So, one of the things we tried to do was to emulate, would you believe, the likes of BBC Radio 1 by having a road show. Now, road shows in the 70s and 80s were really big radio affairs where they would go around all around the country, usually seaside resorts, with a big truck full of gear and kit, and basically do a live show to thousands and hundreds of people. Obviously, being in Radio Dublin, it was the poor man's version of that. So we had a road show, and we were all kind of in convoy, sent out to designated areas of Dublin. Now, I ended up, unbeknownst to me, where I was going. They kind of suddenly threw me off in a very, I won't name it, but a very deprived, underprivileged, rough end of Dublin. It was, put it this way, it was flat land. It had all the austere Eastern European charm of kind of grey flats and no grass whatsoever in the place. Not even the funny kind. So they threw me off and said, hey, you, get on with the disco. And two massive big speakers and a deck. Now, I was never a club DJ anyway. So this was really pathetic. Me, with my sleeves rolled up like Roger Taylor from Duran Duran, because that was the style back then. So before I knew it, loads of kids had gathered around. Hey, mister, what are you up to? I'm the Radio Dublin DJ. Play us some songs. I know I'm getting there, guys. Guys, trying to, show some kinship. And pathetically, I took all this vinyl crap out, and I had like Frankie Goes to Hollywood or something, Two Tribes. And that was going for a while. The kids were kind of doing a bit of a pogo, although they were kind of, not too happy with the playlist faces out there as well. They subsequently became very hostile, because here's what happened. The freaking needle broke, and I was left there with this increasing circle of juvenile tyrants around me, very disgruntled, saying, play the vocal music, mister. And I was there, but I can't, the needle's broken. How's everybody today? Do you want any requests for the show? As a map of South America in brown colours rapidly formed on my white trousers. They were also cool in the 80s. But as I said, there was a lot of very disgruntled and psychotic young faces out there looking at me. So they got really hostile. So I was, there to a point. Funny though, one always takes to you. So I had a little protector as well, if I remember. And she kind of sidled up to me and said, leave him alone, he's all right, he's gorgeous, so he is. But at one point anyway, one of these guys, and he must have been about 12, right? He suddenly took out, he was brandished like a sabre, about 18 inches. It was bigger than himself. I nearly passed out. But luckily I was rescued. You won't believe it by who. So there was shouts from a balcony. Here, what the fuck is going on there? Right, and there's a guy, huge big guy, straight out of Rabsy Nevsbit, with the tats and the wife-beater string vest on him. And he said, what's going on over there? As everyone kind of went into quiet reverence, because obviously I don't know whether this guy was a top dog or a drug dealer or whatever. But then, I'm from Radio Dublin, and I was just doing a but there's a problem. What's the bleeding problem? The needle's broken. You know the way her voice kind of sticks. But anyway, the Radio Dublin will be along soon, so don't worry about me. There's nothing to see here. There is bleeding. There's something to see here. I'm trying to get me sleep. I was doing a late shift last night. Sorry about that. The needle's broken. He said, all right, don't forget about it. So he takes about 30 seconds. He goes inside. He comes out, and he's got this traditional kind of record player, right? And he puts it on the deck. And he takes out some Camolia from the 1960s or kind of LP. I don't know what it was. The Dixies or something like that out of the show band era. And he plops it down. And he starts shouting at the kids like, dance, you C-word plurals. Dance, you C-word plurals. And before I knew it, all the kids were like... And before I knew it, Radio Dublin came to my rescue. But boy, tough crowd. Talk about it. See you guys around when I'm not doing voiceovers like Very Sure Alarms for $19.90 a month. Have a great weekend.